Is this better? I think that's maybe better. What do we like? I think that's nicer. All right. Hi. Welcome back to my channel. No, you know what? We're pumping the lights. I have this old lamp that is literally something I bought from a flea market and was broken and I've put back together, but so it doesn't work very well. That's the kind of person I am. So, hi, you made it. Yes! You made it. I think we had like 2 people on here, but probably people will start just like bouncing on as it was last time. Yeah, it is cold here. It's really, really cold. I'm in Montreal still, and it's minus 24 degrees Celsius today. I wonder what it's like for you guys. All right, so I think I'm just gonna kind of start because, yeah, I'm pretty sure that people are just gonna be popping on. So what I wanted to talk about today, someone asked this like right at the very end of the live stream I did last week, and I'm sorry. Yeah, here we go. I mean, it's in the title. But yeah, someone asked like, okay, what's the difference? Or was it that they asked, what's the difference? Or, hey, or they asked, what are some myths that are out there about either really, but like about law of attraction. So from what I can tell, it's really interesting. It's really interesting when like things move in this way, because I feel like law of attraction had like a lot of steam going, and then everyone just took like a sharp turn and like really kind of threw law of attraction like in the garbage. At least that's like from what I'm seeing, like in my little sphere of the internet and in the world. And I get it, because I think law of attraction screws up a lot of people, just in that it's like really complicated and weird and abstract, and it has all these rules and all these like methods and all these things that you're supposed to do, otherwise you don't get your specific person or any of that. And then law of assumption comes in, and specifically Neville Goddard comes in, and he makes it a lot cleaner, but it's still messy from what I can tell, at least. Okay, so first of all, I'm just gonna like give you a rundown of what the difference is. So law of attraction assumes that everything is attracted to us. So if I'm gonna get like really in this, it's like we're just energy, right? And this is proven at this point. We're energy, and we're energy vibrating at a specific frequency. And that frequency resonates in the same way that if you hit a glass, it has a specific frequency, right? A specific pitch, and it will have glass of the same pitch going off at the same time. So that's kind of like where law of attraction comes in, and it's like, okay, so you attract what you are like attracts like, and you attract to you circumstances, people, events. Hey, no problem, glad you're here. So you attract to you circumstances, people, events, or whatever, what have you, that are in alignment with that frequency. Okay. And so this is kind of also where like the whole like high vibe movement, let's call it a movement, got going, because it said like, oh, you know, you have to be in a good mood all the time, or even like your thoughts always have to be in alignment. Like you have to be in alignment with your desire in order to get it. And it's like you're sending out this signal to the universe, and the universe is gonna give it to you if you have the right signal. Like I think I don't know if you've like done law of attraction, you've heard the analogy of hey, of that, oh, it's like you're turning your radio dial, you know, into the thing that you desire, that you want. Okay, So this gets like very, it gets hard quick. Because first of all, being high vibe all the time is like really not sustainable and not, it's just like not where most people are at. And it's also just not at all necessary. And I think anyone who like studied this could look out at the world and be like, okay, there's obviously people out there that are not high vibe and they're doing fine. Like they're fine. They're not like eating a plant-based diet and they seem to be doing just fine. You know, they're not yeah, they're not watching The Secret and they're not making gratitude lists or whatever, and they seem to be doing fine. So what's going on? So that's like law of attraction, all right? You're attracting. Oh, and also like a big part of law of attraction is that I think, I don't know where this started, but like I think that's really where it started, that it was like the universe. You know, we started referring to a deity or to God or some kind of like omnipotent governing force as universe. And so the universe is going to give back to you what you put into it. The universe is going to answer your questions or give you these things. It's just another word. But anyway, so universe is very, that's what's used, at least that I know of in the law of attraction. Okay, now to counter that, law of assumption. Yeah. We feel like the center of the universe. Okay, well, I'm going to get to that. Okay, so law of assumption, on the other hand, it's similar. So whatever, you'll see like manifestation coaches now who are being like, law of attraction is not a thing. Okay, it is a thing because it's a thing. All right, law of assumption is that you get what you assume to be true. So you get what you assume. And what's an assumption? It's something that you don't even think about. It's something that like you just assume it's there. So I assume that if I sit on a chair, I'm not gonna like fall on the ground. I'm not gonna go through the chair. I'm gonna sit on the chair. I assume that. I assume that my hair is this length, and so that's the hair length I have. I assume that my heart pumps blood, so my heart pumps blood. And it's that like your awareness is what you get. Your level of awareness, what you like put your attention on, what you assume, what you believe is what you get back in turn and what you are. All right. So this is different in that it's like, how do we put this? It's like, and maybe it's just because, you know, science wasn't where it was at when Neville Goddard was there. Oh, so like to do all this though, I have to explain who Neville Goddard is. So he was around in like the 50s and 60s, and he studied under this guy named Abdullah, who also was the teacher of Joseph Murphy. If any of you guys know Joseph Murphy, I've tried listening to him and it just doesn't resonate as much for me. But anyway, a lot of people really, really, really love his books as well, or his talks. But Neville Goddard started giving talks around like the 50s and 60s. And these talks are amazing. From many different levels. So he talks a lot about the Bible. Joseph Murphy does as well. But Neville talks a lot about the Bible, but he makes you listen to the Bible in a completely different way because it's basically a manifesto for manifesting. Like, it's telling you how this is done. It's telling you how your whole world is organized through the law of assumption, and that what is God is your imagination. Okay, that is God, and therefore God is not outside of you. God is not universe. God is not something you have to send out to. You don't have to reach out and like hit God and be like, hey, great, I'm glad I got you over there. So can you hook me up with some things over here? No, God is inside you. God is your imagination, which is present at all times. All right. And what I mean by that, by like present at all times, is that we are constantly living in imagination, actually. We're constantly living in ideas, in stories, in assumptions. We're constantly living in like in things that aren't actually like factually true, things that aren't actually real, but things that are imagined and then come about in like a physical, sensorial form. But it all stems from the imagination, i.e., God. Okay. So that's a little different. Yeah, it's like a broader perspective of what's in the Bible. Yeah, I mean, I'm not super familiar with the Bible, but you know, it's taking things from the Bible, and it's not even taking things from the Bible, but for instance, like one of the stories I really like that Neville talks about is wait, what is it? Is it Lot's wife? Lot's wife, and they're told to flee the city and never look back, not look back. Sorry, this is like such a rough retelling of this story, but they're told to flee the city, okay, and never look back. And so they gather up all their things and they try to convince the neighbors, like, oh, it's time to go, we have to leave. And some people come, some people don't, and then they're leaving the city, and the city is literally like being destroyed around them. And Lot's wife looks back and she turns into a pillar of salt, okay? And people could look at this in lots of different ways, but if you look at this from a manifesting perspective, it's that you have to completely commit to the new reality, the new belief, the new version that you are committing to, and never, ever, ever look back. And so Lot's wife, she looks back and she turns into a pillar of salt. And what is salt? It's a preservative, right? So she is preserved. She couldn't let go of the old story. She couldn't let go of the old assumption. And so she was changed into a pillar of salt. Yeah. Well, and if you, okay, so from this, like, let's actually look at imagination. Like everything around you, everything was imagined first. You were imagined first. You were imagined before you ever were this person. And then you came out and you had an imagining of yourself, and other people had imaginings of you. And they said, oh, you're this. Oh, you're that. Oh, you're this. Oh, he's so cute. Oh, he's so kind. Oh, he's so whatever. And then you go, I guess that's what I am. I guess that's what I am. I guess that's what I am, until you're conscious enough to also make decisions about yourself of your own free will. And so certain things happen around you and you go, oh, this plus this must mean this. Everything is empty and meaningless. Nothing means something, but you look around at the events going on in your life and you decide, oh, I got a bad grade in school, I must be stupid. Or, oh, my parents are fighting, I must be bad in some way. Or, oh, my parents are fighting, marriage must not be a good thing, or whatever it is. So we make decisions, we make assumptions, and then that dictates what we see from then on, and then we create from that place. We create from that assumption. Everything starts in assumption, everything starts in belief, everything starts in imagination. Okay, so that's the difference. And with this, like, the really big thing that I want you guys to take away from this is, like, this should be really empowering. If you have been following Law of Attraction, or even, so I didn't follow Law of Attraction for a really long time, but I'm only like now realizing how many things kind of messed me up because I thought there was a governing, like, power. I didn't believe necessarily there was God, but I thought there was like a way that things were supposed to go down. I thought there was someone or something that was deciding my fate that was outside of me. Okay? And that's not true. Your imagination decides your fate. Okay? So you don't have to be good for the universe to give you stuff. You don't have to be anything for the universe to give you stuff. The universe isn't giving you anything. You're giving yourself it. Okay? And you're good enough when you say you're good enough. That's literally all it takes. You say, yeah, I deserve this. I deserve this, and things will unravel to that assumption. Okay? And then also this like picks up steam because it might not catch right away, but then the more you see evidence until it's just automatic. All right, so I took down but I wanted to get into the myths of law of attraction specifically. So, I think I covered the biggest one, which is that the universe is deciding for you. No, the universe doesn't decide for you. Okay. Oh, and this is why also I'm the law of attraction is a thing. It is a thing because your imagination creates everything. So if you imagine the law of attraction to work, it works. And it obviously does work because people have been into it and people have followed it and people have succeeded within it. Okay? Putting on 432 frequencies has helped some people and they'll say that's what helped me. So it does work. It's just different. It's just different. And if you like that, okay, but I think at the end of the day, I always want to be the most empowered that I possibly can be. So I've kind of given up a lot of those things. Same goes for tarot or I can't think of it right now. Horoscopes. They're things. Yeah, of course they're things. And people have been very successful with them and they have proven to be true. Prophecies have been proven to be true. But they're true because you make them true. They're true because you give your power to that thing. And you make it true through your power. You think it's over there. But no, you have all the power. Always. Always, always, always. Okay, so it's actually you enabling that thing to show you the way. And the same goes for anyone, pretty much, any teacher. Any teacher. A teacher is only as powerful as their students. So if you believe your teacher to be the greatest teacher of all time and to be the one who's gonna dramatically change your life, yeah, they're going to. They're going to because you chose them. You chose them and you're always choosing. All right. So, this is, I could get into more of law of assumption, but I'm going to do it just in the myths. All right. Where do I want to start with this? Okay, so you're God. That's number one. Guess what? You're God. Yeah, you are. All right, let's go into the attraction thing. Okay, you're not attracting anything. I mean, you are unless you think you are. All right? But you're not attracting. You're being. All right? You're being whatever you are. You're believing whatever you believe, and from that springs everything. All you actually are is awareness, which is imagination basically. Hey, so from that springs everything that you see. Okay? Because everything that you see is actually just a form of awareness. All right? So you're not attracting it. You're not pulling it over to you. You're being something that then is reflected into the world you see around you. Okay, so there's no space in the way that some of these people describe. There's no space in the way in which some of these people describe in that okay, I need to reach out. Often with these things, it feels like I'm trying to get somewhere, or I'm trying to pull something to me. No, there's nothing out there. It's all here. It's all within. It's all within. So there's nothing you need to reach. There's nothing you need to tune into, because it's you. It's you. And so I can see how it could seem like you are syncing yourself up to something else, to some other kind of reality or something, and in a way you are, but it's everything is present all the time, and you're changing yourself through your own awareness, and that, as a result, changes the outside, because the outside is only a reflection of the inside. Okay, but so there's no attraction, and there's no lag time either within that, because you decide the lag time. So this is actually something that Neville Goddard did believe in, and Florence Scovel, Scovelshire, is that it? Anyway, a lot of people are oh, everything at its appointed hour. Wait, I need to go back and read that. Anyway, everything at its appointed hour, that like, so Neville Goddard talked about like, oh, in the same way that he described like imagining, to put it that way, as planting a seed. So you plant a seed, and in the same way that it takes tomatoes a certain amount of time to ripen, it takes certain manifestations, certain amount of time to ripen. So what do I think about that? I mean, again, you decide. So if you want to believe that there's a lag time, that there's an appointed hour, then there is. But you're in charge of time. Okay? Time is an illusion too. Like, time is just another form of space that we created that isn't actually real. So even if there is like an appointed hour, you get to decide what hour you're in. Do you know what I mean? Like, you get to decide what reality you're in and when that hour comes for that reality or something like that, if that makes sense. So yeah, there's nothing that you need to do outside of you and pull it to you. You don't need to do that. There's no space. There's really no space. Like, we're all very crowded in on each other, people. And it's dense in here. It's dense. Okay. With that too, like, so another thing about law of assumption, and by the way, like, the reason that I like this and like what I usually look for in terms of why did I like law of assumption in the first place, it was like because I saw it spoke to things that I had already encountered, I had already experienced firsthand. And also, I think if something is true, then a lot of people will have discovered it accidentally. Like, if it's really a law, you don't need to know the law for it to work on you. Like, and so if you see that most successful people are employing this in some way, even if it's just like positive thinking or like working with their beliefs in a positive way, you know, like like a kind of theory of oneness, you know, that exists within Buddhism or things like that. I saw like a similarity, like an encapsulating within all these different practices, and that's what made it ring true for me. So within the law of assumption, I've talked a little bit about this, about everyone is you pushed out. This is what I mean about it's like very dense in here. And this also is what, how do I put this? This is like what has your manifestation take place, because often we need like other people to like help us along with our manifestation. But so everyone is you pushed out, meaning everyone is of you, is you reflected back in some way. Now, sometimes this is like a certain characteristic trait that you have, but it's also just like how you expect people to show up, how you expect people to be. So if you assume that men are a certain way, men will show up a certain way. If you assume women are a certain way, they can be like as general or as specific as you want. And most people have both of these, okay? So you have, I'm not even going to say most people, I think all people have both of these. So you have general assumptions and you have very specific assumptions about who and how people are. And that's also why too, like, you don't have to save anyone, okay? Because all you really have to do is save yourself. Like, you have to find within yourself the belief that like the world is messed up, or the world is scary, or the world is cruel, or whatever that is. And that's all an imagining. Like, the dark is just as imaginary as the light, to put it that way, you know? And you don't have to see anything like trying to save them on the outside is living into the assumption that you've already created. And so the only way to really transform your world or transform people is to change yourself from within. And then that will get pushed out in those other people, general and specific. Yeah. Okay. Do you guys have any questions? Okay, so another thing also that I'm going to go into is letting go. Oh, no, there's like Sorry, there's like, okay. So some other myths. Letting go. All right. Gosh, there's so much. So there's a lot out there that's like, you have to let go. You have to surrender. You have to surrender your seed. Like, that's how. And from what I can tell with Neville Goddard, is letting go is an effect of you having lived and felt and tasted the imaginary world to the extent that it is so real for you that you let go. You no longer want it. You no longer desire it, because for you, it's already alive. You have it. You're always free to think and feel whatever you want. And when you feel it real, when you feel it real, like you can't be striving for it because you have it. And when that happens, you've let it go. So there's a lot out there that's like, I need to let go. I need to let go. No, you don't. Like, no, honey, it's okay. Like, you let go naturally when you have it. When you have it inside yourself, you'll naturally let go. So you don't need to put pressure on yourself about letting go. That's number one. And then to go into feeling it real as well. So this is kind of like with the high vibe thing, and I think it's just like a misinterpretation. You don't have to feel good. Okay, number one, you don't have to feel good. It has nothing to do with emotions. Feeling it real means that it feels like it has occurred. So let's say like, I want a new house or something, and I imagine myself in a house, and either I'll affirm or I'll visualize or I'll do SATs, state akin to sleep, or meditate or whatever it is. So yes, owning a house, it's useful to be like, how would I feel? And to kind of use an emotion like, I would feel happy. All right. So, but this is like where the high vibe thing goes in. It's like, just by being happy doesn't mean you're going to get a house. Like, that doesn't make sense. And you're not trying to ever force a feeling. Like, please don't force a feeling. Don't like don't do that. No, okay. Because what you want to be focused on is feeling like it's actually happening to you. And that's not a simple emotion. That's like, I heard this today that I thought was really good. In the same way that you feel deja vu, you know, that like weird feeling of deja vu that I think everyone has experienced. That's what it should be like, but its own kind. Like you cross some kind of barrier where it's no longer imaginary in that like, oh, I'm kind of lying to myself. Like, it's real. It's real. You just feel it. You just feel, I have this thing. Like, it's done. I got it. I'm there. I already have it. I've tasted it. I know it. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing when you're doing all of those methods. And then also talking about methods, yeah, again, you actually have the power, and so you put power into everything. So if the water method or scripting, you know, like writing it down a million times or whatever, if you decide that's the way that this is going to work for you, that's the way it's going to work for you. But methods aren't necessary, and the reason you know they're not necessary is because you've been manifesting your entire life. So I don't think anything bad that's happened in your life, for instance, I don't think like you wrote down 120 times that was going to happen for you. You don't have to do that. It's just you consistently put your attention and your mind to those things. You imagine them, or you imagine something that represents that. You know, like you can have general imaginings like, like things not going my way, and so you might not like imagine specifically getting a bad grade in school, but that syncs up with some bigger belief you have. Okay, I've been talking for like a half hour, so let's just see. There are many people that just can't be saved. Yeah. Well, so like to that, e.g., what do I want to say this? Like, there's only so many people you want to put your attention to. Like, some people you just don't have the energy to change by changing yourself. It's just not important to you. And you don't have to. You don't have to. So that's for you to decide. But I'd say they are still reflections of you. So even like a belief like, oh, there's some people who can't be saved. If you say so. Yeah, you get to say. Another thing that I think is like important, I don't know why. Why is everyone manifesting an SP? Can like someone explain that to me? Why is that the #1 topic? I think I'm missing something. Like, I get it. I get like we want to be loved, but I want to be loved in general, not necessarily by like one person. That one person. I need them so badly. I don't get it. Yeah, and the other thing too, like with so there's like, I've kind of covered just like very general myths that fall into both camps, law of attraction and law of assumption. But like, so people will talk about with law of assumption and manifesting an SP, they'll be like, oh, you got to work on your self-concept. You got to work on your self-concept. And it's like, yeah, you have to think that you're the greatest thing for someone else to think you're the greatest thing. No, you don't. You don't. Because there's lots of people who believe that love is loving someone, loving an imperfect person. You know, there is that out there, right? There is like the idea out there that we don't have to be perfect to be loved. So if you believe that, then why, or that even like someone else can love you more than you love yourself, that's like entirely possible. So you don't have to have like perfect self-concept. It's just that if you have a story that's been running that keeps giving you like a lack of love in your life or something, then you have to change self-concept. Balancing out professionalism and personal relationships between ourselves and other people. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna like probably wrap up unless you guys have specific questions or like, I don't believe in love. No, I do believe in love. Absolutely. I used to not. Whatever, that was me. But I believe in love. Yeah. And I think like love is super important. I just I'm just kind of surprised that that's the #1 thing that people are trying to manifest. And I worry too that it's like putting love on a really difficult high pedestal that doesn't necessarily need to be there. Yeah. That's the thing too with like soulmates. Soulmates exist if you think they exist. What countries have I visited? I visited Canada, the States, Ireland, England, Italy, France, Germany, Spain, Mexico, Iceland. That's it. All right. yeah, so if you guys are interested in more law of assumption, I do need to visit Scotland. I've been like very far north in England, but we didn't go into Scotland. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Another kind of myth that just came to mind. So I really highly recommend you guys look up Neville. I really do. One of the things, I haven't been to Asia. I really want to go to Asia. One of the things that you'll come across if you start practicing this. Oh, and by the way, like, don't take my word. Don't take anyone's word for this. Okay, like, you're God. All right. So even though you might come across like certain people that are like, yeah, law of attraction is like putting people down or whatever, and like you need to set the rules. Like everyone has their own limited beliefs. All right. So every teacher, at least as far as I can see, has their own limiting beliefs. So you have to decide what's true for you. Okay. So like test this. Go out and like try it. See what is possible. Like see what is possible and then make your own decisions about that. That's what I would say. I don't know what you mean about Mike Tyson. I'm sorry, I don't know what that means. What did I want to say? I wanted to say something. Oh, this is just about visualizing. Okay, so Neville talks about like at night you want to relax and you want to have a scene that says that implies that you have the desire. So let's say like he uses a really classic one is, let's say you want to be married, so you feel a ring on your finger, this finger, Janessa. You feel a ring on your finger and you're just playing with the ring, and so you just practice that in your mind over and over and over and over and over and over again until you feel it real, right? I went for a short time. I didn't get a degree. So a lot of his exercises come down to visualizing, okay? And people will be like, oh, but I can't visualize. It's really hard. Like, it doesn't need to be like a 4D image, okay? It just needs you need to practice until you feel it real. It's why also like you don't actually have to visualize. You can use inner conversations. You can just have people talking to you. It's whatever like saturates your awareness until you think that this event is actually taking place. And something that I like to say when I will get to that question. Something that I would like to say when it comes to visualizing is, if you can read a book, you can visualize, all right? Because everyone does that. Everyone who reads a book, I don't care if it's like hazy, I don't care what it is, but if you're able to follow a story in your mind with words, then you can visualize, all right? And that's also, by the way, what affirming is doing, is like those words are triggering certain images for you, which is why you really have to find the affirmations that work for you. Because that's your subconscious mind works in pictures, and that's what you're going for. You're going for the pictures, not the words, people. But the pictures don't have to be like crisp and clear. They don't have to be, okay? They're just vehicles for you to feel it real. Mateus, am I saying that right? Mateus? Anyway, is it better to go to university? I don't know. What do you think? I actually regret, in some ways, not going to university, because I took some classes and I really, really loved it. I was actually like surprised how much I loved it. Oh, good. I loved it, but I just knew I wanted to do something different. And so it's interesting. It's like on one hand, I went to something called CEGEP out in Montreal. So like we go to grade 11 and then we go to like a college and then we go to university. So I went to something called CEGEP and I did that. because I thought I had to. I don't know. I was going through stuff, but actually, like, either I wish I had, like, moved to New York when I was 17, or I wish I had gone full out to university. I wish I had done one or the other. That's me. I don't think I'm missing anything not having a university degree, but, and I can always go back. It's better than the States. It depends. It's not like extraordinarily cheap, but it depends on whether you're studying in the province that that you were raised in, that you were from. I'm the wrong person to ask about this. Oh, you want to do music production? Yeah. Oh, that's a tough one. Music production. I would talk to other people that have done that. It depends on what you want to do with music production. Because so much of that you can just learn online. Like, so much of that you could just learn on YouTube. And you can just go. Like, don't ever think that you have to go to university in order to do the thing. Yeah. Don't think you have to. Yeah. The thing is, I would say, but this is just a good rule in general, like, be good with people. Be good with people, because you're going to need people in order to be successful in life. And so sometimes you meet those people in university, but you don't have to meet those people in university. Yeah, I'm astonished how much I learned through YouTube. And, you know, with everything going on right now. I don't know. Go to university if you really have a passion to go to university, you know? Exactly. Yeah. Go if you have specific goals, if it really makes sense for you. And also know that it's always there. And you're never, like, on a deadline. Like, it's your life. You decide when things are right for you. Okay? Ugh, like, music is so great. That's cool. But yeah, music. And, oh, by the way, also, like, I forget where I learned this, but it's like, if you're a musician, chances are you can do, if you're like a serious musician and you're very good, chances are you can do just about anything, because the amount of discipline that it takes to be a musician is so much more than other jobs require. So if you can take that same, like, work ethic, you're fine. Okay, then I think you know the answer. I think you know the answer. Don't do this. Why would you? I don't even know why you're asking me. No. Make music. If you want to be a musician, just make music. Okay? End of story. And that's actually where you're going to learn the most. Just make. Also, especially now when it's, like, easier than ever to share and, like, get heard and all of that. Yeah. I would say, like, if you wanted to maybe be in music production for, like, I don't know, video games or something, or animated shows or something, maybe you have to go to, like, some kind of college, but it doesn't sound like that's what you want to do. Okay, I'm gonna go, guys. This has been real. Yeah. If any of you guys have requests for next week, hello. Yeah, drop me a line, I guess, or shout it out real quick. Yeah, so I'm gonna do these streams every Saturday. That's what I'm gonna try to do. And if I can't do it on the Saturday, I'm gonna do it on the Sunday. And yeah, it just seemed like most people were available then. So I go, yeah, it's 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same time. Yeah, so next week it's gonna be 5 p.m. Cool. Yeah, I hope you answered that for yourself, Mateus. Okay. Love you guys so much, and I'll see you on the next one. All right? Bye.